So good afternoon, everyone. As you all know, I just signed my certificate of candidacy, but I want to take up an issue with all of you. This is pertaining to the proposed alternate road, which needs to be built going from the Gilbert Bridge to the bypass. Now, as you all know, my kaanakan, Congressman Sandro Marcos, brought up the issue of the alternate road, okay? But he did so in a way that was derogatory to me, okay? Now, allow me to explain the issues surrounding the proposed alternative road. Now, please be aware that during the fiesta, the pamilya fiesta, during the grand parade on February 8th, when Sandro Marcos came and sat with me in order to watch the grand parade, he later asked me to go with him to Ladrillos, which is a restaurant in San Nicolas, because he was meeting there with all of the mayors of the first district. So I went there and I actually sat next to him. And he was asking all the various LGUs about issues, about what they need. And of course, he came to Laoag and he asked me. And I said, Apo Congressman, with the eventual building of the SM Mall and the eventual operation of the SM Mall, Laoag City will have a very, very big problem with traffic. Okay, I already relayed that to the congressman. And the congressman listened. And he said, so what's your plans? And I said, well, there's a plan to build an alternative road. And then he later said, okay, why don't you talk to Ryan Remigio? Why don't you explain that to Ryan Remigio? So I was sitting at the table with him and all the mayors. So I left the table and I went to another table and I sat down with Ryan. And so I explained to Ryan about the need for Laoag City to create an access road to SM because of the fact that once SM opens, we will have a very big problem with traffic. So he said, yes, you're correct. Please prepare a letter explaining your desire to create an alternative road. So this is what we did. So on February 22, we sent a letter, and it's here. We sent a letter to Secretary Bunwan explaining the need to create an alternate road. Then, the day before, February 21, we also copy furnished the first district office. We also gave a copy of this letter to the first district office, okay? So in it, we explained that there was a need to create an alternate road beginning at the bottom of the Gilbert Bridge. So in other words, as you go down the Gilbert Bridge and you go towards the airport road, that there would already be a small bridge that would connect going down directly to SM. And that road would continue all the way to the bypass, okay? Now, the reason why the amounts as large as this came about, please understand that we had a meeting with SM. When SM came to us to already begin to explain all that they were going to do in the building of SM, we had a meeting with the SM officials, with their engineers, and of course, the city engineer was also present, Engineer Marichel. So we all talked about the fact that an alternate road would have to be built and that it would go from the Gilbert Bridge and it would run parallel to the Patsan River going all the way to the bypass. Now, the problem of putting up an alternate road is the fact that, number one, it's next to the Patsan River. So you'd have to build a dike. You'd have to build the dike for as long as as long as it runs parallel to the Patsan River, okay? Then there's private property that you will have to buy. Okay, there's private property, okay? Plus there are other aspects of this, and that's why the figure ballooned to 1 billion, more or less. But this was a general figure. Okay, please understand that no program of work has ever been prepared. These were just figures that we were all thinking about. SM was thinking about, engineering was thinking about. And this is why I will now turn over this presentation to Marichelle, because she's the engineer, I'm not. And she will explain to you why it became more or less that figure. And you must understand that SM agreed with more or less with the figure and said that they would pay half of it, that they would pay 500 million, and that sana, the government, the national government, would pay the other 500 million, okay? And this was relayed to the first district. This was relayed to DPWH, okay, in a very open and transparent manner. And please understand that if and when this is implemented, because it must be implemented, please understand, if it's not implemented, the widening of the airport road will be insufficient, okay? We need and we must have an alternate road, okay? Now, what's funny is that we talked about this with the first district and with the congressman February 8th. Why did the congressman suddenly bring up this issue 8 months later, bigla, and in such a manner as to cast aspersion on me and to parang give the impression that I'm being corrupt? We would never handle this project. This project would be handled by DPWH and by SM and maybe the first district. We would never have anything to do with this project financially, nor do we want to have anything to do with this project financially. This is something to be handled by DPWH and SM. Okay? That's it. It's as simple as that. That's why when the congressman made aspersions like that, personally I was shocked. Why, when we gave it before, and it's been such a long time, the issue of questioning that never came up. I repeat, it's never been talked about. For 8 months, we thought that they forgot about it. And we didn't push it for certain reasons. I just didn't bother. Then suddenly, bigla, the congressman says that. So syempre, I was hurt that he said it in that manner. This is why I need to talk to you about this in order to set the record straight. That we had no desire to get involved in a project like that. We were only trying to implement a project that would benefit Al Kailian here in Laoag, because the opening of SM is going to cause horrendous traffic. And we must have an alternate road. It's as simple as that. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay? So I'd like Marichelle, please, Marichelle, explain the details and the aspects